Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are about to get started here with Open Mic Live. But first, as always, a word from our sponsor.
At InDigital, we know the public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESINet goes beyond industry standards, not only I3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
August 24th, 2016, the I Am 901 movement is born. One of my personal stories set the tone for this movement. What started out as a way to raise awareness for the reclassification issue for dispatchers quickly turned into peer support. 911 professionals from all over the world were sharing their stories. On Facebook alone, at that time, the engagements were over 34 million. It spawned a peer support session at conferences called Imagine Listening, where dispatchers shared their stories out loud or on paper. For years, I have been asked if this would ever become a book, coming June 2023.
And available now for pre-order on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
From Titletown Publishing, Imagine Listening. Your worst day is our everyday. If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Open Mic Live. And this live broadcast, as always, is sponsored by InDigital, a leader in next-gen core services. And big shout out to patrons and Facebook subscribers, basically subscribers of the podcast. Thank you all very, very much. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it wasn't for all of you, but especially all of you that are here watching, listening, supporting, sharing, all of that good stuff. I am back from Texas. From the Texas, well, not the Texas conference. That was in Galveston. The National NENA conference that was in Grapevine, Texas. Man, was it hella hot out there. Holy shit. It was super hot. Like, hot to the point where I think every single day there was a heat advisory. And it was pretty crazy, man. I ended up getting an Airbnb, which was beautiful. To the person who I rented that from, thank you. That place was very cool. Very nice. It was awesome. Also, actually, like we always do about this time for Open Mic, how are you feeling? How's everyone doing? I'm coming in at like an 8 or 9. Feeling pretty good, man. I am feeling very good. Things are good. Like I was telling those here on TikTok, I've got all of my family is downstairs. My sisters and my brother-in-law are here as well. So very, very cool. So I started early, started 15 minutes early. So then I can, go down and hang out with them and stuff. But um, as we always start out, where are you watching from? Roll call. What is your number on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty and 10 being awesome? How are you feeling? Because it is Sunday and we are about to start another week. Yeah. So let me look over here. Vanessa coming in at a 7, tired and on night 3 of 4 behind the desk. Snaps. You are almost there, and then you've got some time off, right? At least a couple days, even if it's just a day. Awesome. Coming in at a 7. Excellent. Let's see if we can get that number up. Even if it stays the same, that's fine. That's fine. It's all good. And then let's see. We got Florida over here at a 7 and tired. Okay. 8 or 9 is what I'm coming in. I'm also tired. I'm also tired too. So let's see. After that is 2 days of EMA training. Is that good or bad? Because it could be either way. It could be either or is what I'm getting at. Looking over here, we got Mary. Hello. Love you in the podcast. Love you as well. Blessings to you too. I appreciate it. Gary, yo, from Northwest New Jersey, fresh from National Nina. I love it. Mary's coming in at a 6. Gary is, let's see, currently sitting on the porch with Tammy, drinking a few glasses of wine with the now famous Tammy. So I'm at 11 watching on FB. Yeah, very nice. And hello, Tammy. Hello to you. And let's see over here. We got, I live in Katy, Texas. And yes, it's hot as hell, but it hasn't got hot yet. I'm feeling, I'm so feeling about 8. All right. That's good. I used to go to Texas all the time growing up, and it was always super hot. But whatever it was this past week, they had that excessive heat shit going, and I could definitely feel it, especially dressed up and everything in my basically a suit, just walking from the house to the car, and then that hot ass car garage, walking into the convention center there in the Gaylord. Man, that was something. When I got in there, I was just making sure that I had extra layers of deodorant, because the last thing I want is for people to come to my booth or my classes and be like, dude, you smell like bologna. I'd be like, oh man, my bologna does have a first name. Oh shit. But things were good. Vanessa said, I saw the suit look, the bow tie look was amazing. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. I always like to rock that bow tie. It's always good. But my homie over here, Gary, he had one as well, and 911 Bowler had one too. So we were rocking out those bow ties. It was really, really fun. James, what is going on? You're early, bro. James from South Jersey in the house. Yes, sir. I am. I went 15 minutes early. I decided to go early. Gary over here says, whatever happened to the dry heat? That shit was as sticky as a glazed donut. I don't know. I think the dry heat is more so like in Vegas. I got friends that I have from Vegas. They're like, it's a dry heat. It's always a dry heat. And I don't know, man. This shit sucks either way. So really quick, posted episode 499. And so that one is out. Some of these episodes, they usually go out a week early for patron subscribers of the podcast and such. But with everything that's been going on, everyone has been getting it at the same time. And there's a lot of stuff that I've been going through as well. Oh, wait, over here, because the humidity is so bad. That's what makes it that much hotter. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I was dying. Yeah. I mean, there were some moments though that it felt all right. Like I just wanted to sit outside and chill, and that was pretty good as well. And one reminder, really quick, please throw in some reactions and share this broadcast out there. We can get more people coming in and everything else too. So episode 499 went out. Episode 499 was actually an open mic episode that I did a couple of weeks ago. The reason I put it out as an episode is because it was super good. Like we started immediately with a buddy of mine who had asked the question of, what are some things that you do, after having a call, when you've lost a child during a CPR call. So I put a clip out for that. A lot of people have been sharing it, commenting. It's been doing very, very well. That episode was so much good stuff in there. And Tawana, I am out of Indiana. I am in the northeast section of Indiana. I'm in Fort Wayne. And so I wanted to put it out there as a main episode because there was just so much good stuff that was shared. And so that one went out there. So the whole first half is like different tips and everything else. And the other part that's towards the end is more of a funny part. So it was almost like an Imagine listening session. The way we do it, or the way I've done it, is where it starts out, in the beginning, and like the emotional part of it, right? And then the end of it, we end it with some funny stories. So that's basically how that episode went down. And it was episode 499. So with that said, obviously, you know what comes next, and that is episode 500. Episode 500, man. I never would have thought when I started all of this that I would get to 500 episodes. But on top of that, surpass 2 million downloads and have this podcast heard in over 60 countries. What? How crazy is that? But crazy good. Super good. But I have all of you to thank for that. So thank you. Because without all of you and your support and everything and sharing your stories, what I do wouldn't be what it is. So thank you, all of you, as always, for the continued support, just all of it. Before I get too far into some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about, am I a paramedic? No, I was a 911 dispatcher for just over 13 years. Started out my career in Central Florida and finished it off in Southwest Michigan. So that's where I'm coming from as a first responder and everything. I was one of the awesome folks that answered calls. I miss it. I do miss it. There's a lot of stuff I don't miss, but I do all of this now for a living, and it has been an amazing experience. So, a book update, because a lot of stuff happened this past week, okay? So some of you saw this, some of you may not have. And for those here on TikTok, I'm just going to tell you what it says here, but I want to make sure to present this. And bam, there it is. Okay, so when the book launched just this past Tuesday, a lot of craziness happened. Good craziness, though. Good craziness. And then, there was a lot of different things that we ended up having to do. So the book is still in pre-order right now. We had to push back the publishing date. So let me read the update here really quick. So it says, an update from my publisher. We had so many orders so quickly that we had to adjust the online pub date while hundreds of books make their way to retailers. They're being distributed throughout the country, and we are going into our second print already. Yes, second print. Going into the second print already. It goes on to say, if you received a canceled order message, please reorder. If you have not received a canceled message, retailers will fill the order as soon as the books are checked in. Thank you for your patience and understanding. So, thank you. Again, a lot of stuff happened. But it was good. But again, Vanessa over here says, massive congrats on the success of the book so far. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, this book too would be nothing without all of you, because these are the stories that were submitted for the I Am 911 movement that I founded back in 2016. A lot of people always asked, when is this ever going to get turned into a book? And it's there. I had about 200 with me at the National Linux Conference this past week, and I sold just about all of them. I think I have maybe 20 left. That's how good of a turnout it was. And all of you made this conference, especially because this marked 10 years. This was a 10-year anniversary of me podcasting at Nina and having this partnership with Nina that, all of you made this one of the best conferences yet. And I can't thank you enough. I didn't know how this was going to go. I'll be honest, I was very nervous. I was very nervous on all of this. And then, let's see, James says, I leave for Nashville on the 6th. My expected delivery date is the 5th. If it doesn't arrive in time, I'll help you. I can't even talk. I hope you'll have one ready. So if you are going to Nashville, if you are going to be at the National APCO conference, make sure to find me in the InDigital booth. I will be in the InDigital booth on both days of the expo hall because they are going to be giving away this book. I'm going to be in there. I'm going to do a little talk or whatever, and then I'm going to be signing books. So if you're one of the first ones there on either day, you will get a free book. And if you would like me to sign it, I will sign it for you. So I will be there with InDigital. I will be in that booth and we will have books to give away. Now, a lot of people were seeing that their book order, the shipping was getting pushed back to either the first or second week of August. So if you're going to be there and you're waiting for yours to come in, give that one to a friend and be one of the first ones to be there, and you can get a book. And I'll sign it for you right there if that's something that you're interested in. So, boom. Gary says, dude, you had a line at one point. Yes. No, I did. So if you were there and you saw it, and if you didn't, there would be spurts. So I was there. My good friend Don was helping me out, and my bro from another Mo, Rob McMullen, was there helping me as well. And it was excellent. Thank you both very much. Also, thank you to Nina, and just thank you to everybody who assisted during that time. I want to share a video here really quick. And so there are tons of people who have this book now. They're going through them. A good friend of mine was flying back home to Florida, and her connecting was in Atlanta, and the plane was delayed. The flight was delayed. So she decided to crack open the book, and I believe it said that she got to page 15 and was just bawling, just crying from the stories that she was reading. And she had to put it down because people at the airport were looking at her funny, like, what is wrong with her? Like, what is going on? But it was because of the IM911 stories that she was reading within that book. And I'm not sure how far she's gotten, but the last I knew, because of what she had posted and such, was that she had gotten to page 15. But she said that it's beautiful. It's a beautiful book. So I hope you enjoy it. If you haven't had a chance to pre-order, it's available now for pre-order, and it is links.co/WTT podcast. Now that's links with 2 I's, LIINKS.co/WTT podcast. And there'll be links there on the bio page where you can pre-order as well, whether it be on Amazon, whether it be on Books A Million or Barnes & Noble or any other places. You can even get it on Target.com. That's where it's at right now. It's everywhere. So it's amazing. Amy over here says, it was great meeting you at Nina. I haven't cracked open the book yet. Once you do, Amy, and it was great to meet you as well. Once you do, please hook it up with a selfie with you in the book. And once you get through it, please send me a review. I would love to have those. These are things that I'm collecting for the next print, and just other things to have out there. So thank you so much. James says, nice surprise. Can't wait to enjoy the block party. The block party, of course, those are always awesome. It's going to be good. So I want to share this video and I put this out there yesterday, I think it was, and it was actually one that I had already put together. Okay, I put it together, and I meant to put it out, never did it. That's how busy it was, man. It was so busy. I didn't even get a chance to record any episodes there at the conference, and I usually come out with about 5 or 6 episodes. Did not have a chance. That is how busy it was. But it was a good busy, and it was excellent, and again, all of you that were there, also a huge shout out to not only my publisher, but a good friend of mine, Tracy Ertl, who also runs Hero Light Training. She is, she asked me if I could fill in for her, and she's been ill and fighting and just being the awesome person that she is. And she had asked me if I could fill in for her on her class. So this is her material and such, right? And the class was on Monday, and it was called Managing Mental Health Related Calls. And I'm going to admit, I was nervous as hell. I was not sure how it was going to go. That Sunday night, I had turned in, I didn't even go to the opening party. And I've gone to them before, but this one I sat out because I wanted to work on this whole thing. Like, I had my good friend Dawn helping me out. I had one of my friends who's a peer support specialist helping me out as well. And just kind of running a few things, back and forth. And then I started looking at it even more, even deeper, and I was able to really mold it to be something of my own. Like, the material was still the same. However, I mean, story-wise, I was able to relate some of my stories and engage with the audience that way. And it was super cool to be able to do that. The room was packed, and it was just excellent. So if you were there, thank you so much. But also shout out to Tracy for trusting me with her material and just to do good by her and do a good job. I appreciate the opportunity. So it was really cool to do that. And then the following day, I was in Digital's booth. I did a little talk, and then we did a book signing. But this video that I want to show just kind of shows the booth and that initial book signing, which would have been that Monday morning when the vendor hall opened up and everything was working. So let me switch the audio over here really quick, just so that everybody will be able to hear it. And for those on TikTok, let me check something here. Wait, what was that? Vanessa, you sent me a heart or something. It was like on top of my head. I've never seen that before. That was cool. Oops. All right. So, I'm going to move this back just a little bit here. Share the screen. All right. Let me put my headphones down just so that everybody can hear it. All right, here we go. Right, there you go. Oh, yeah. That was probably one of the coolest moments. So let me see if I can switch this back over here for those on TikTok. There we go. All right, there we are. So yeah, that was one of the coolest moments. I honestly, I didn't even know what to think. I really I didn't know what to think. Because people right away were saying, "Will you sign it? Will you sign it?" I was like, "Yeah, of course, I will sign it." And luckily, I will say this: my mom had said, "You need to make sure or try to have someone take video of you signing that first book." And I said, "Okay, I'll see what I can do." And I had mentioned it, and I mentioned it to Dawn, and she was the one who took that video. So Dawn, thank you so very much for that. I appreciate it more than you know. Capturing that first signing, that was again a very cool moment. I can't even explain it, but let's see over here. Gary says, I'd be lying if I didn't say I got a little emotional when you signed my book, dude. Oh, thanks, man. I because you did the forward, and that was one of the coolest things as well. So thank you so much for that. Let's see. James says, "Man, from the 2019 Baltimore APCO meeting, you to Nashville 2023, a lot has changed for the better for you and 911. I appreciate that, man. That was a cool meeting that we had, and also the Imagine Listening session that we had. Super cool moment." Gary says, "This was a huge moment and glad I was there for it." I'm happy you were there for it as well, especially being in the Imagine Listening session, the other session that I did. It was a very, very cool moment. So I will always have that now, and it's out there. It's out there on social media and stuff. So that was a very, very cool thing, and I am looking forward to everything else that's going to be coming up from it too. So I want to put something now. I want to get into some of these stories. Okay, so you may or may not know this, but I drove to Texas. I drove to Texas from Indiana. And I know a lot of people were like, "What a dumbass." And I kind of. So, one of the reasons that I drove though was because I had a lot of merchandise with me. I had Oh, hold on, let me switch this audio back over here. There we go. So I had a bunch of t-shirts, hats, beanies, some sweatshirts. I had patches, lapel pins, wristbands, which I will say this, and this is kind of my fault, but the wristbands, I had a couple stickers on the holder, and it said $5. However, I guess you couldn't see it that well, or actually people just weren't paying attention because they would walk by and and some of them would say, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" And I would tell them like, "Oh, cool." And then they would snag a wristband and continue going. And I was like, "Oh, okay." One person, and this is funny. I'm not pissing and moaning about it. This is just, it's funny. And it was a lesson for me too. So I had to get an index card, a big index card, and put a dollar sign on it and put a 5 to have it on there. And once I put that on there, then it didn't happen anymore. But it was funny to me. But there was one person, I don't even remember who it was now, but there was one person who started putting it on their wrist, and someone said to them, "That's $5. You got to pay for it." And they're like, "No, it's free." And then they look at me and I said, "No, it's actually $5." And they went, "Oh, okay." And I just stood there and I was like, "Thanks." Oh man, it was funny. I mean, in the moment I was just, "Oh, I'm sorry." Because I know a lot of times there's booths where they have wristbands, right? And they're giving them away for free, but all the shit that I do is not cheap. So I had to charge for even the wristbands, man. So it was funny though. It was funny. I'm saying this as a joke. I wasn't, I'm not being a dick about it. It was just funny. It's just that one person was just like, ow. Oh my god, it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. But also, like I said, once I put that the $5 on there, it didn't happen anymore. Like the $5 huge, in a bit on a big index card and put it there, then it didn't happen anymore. So but before this, right? As I'm talking about all the merchandise, I was just mentioning that. So I'm driving. I drove straight through. The only time I stopped was if I really, really needed to go to the bathroom or to get gas or to get something to eat. That was it. And a lot of the times when I stopped to get gas, I would get something to eat or I had snacks with me. So I just wanted to drive through. It was only 15 hours, man. It took me 17 hours, but either way, I mean, that's still pretty good. I just drove straight through. The crap part, though, however, is the fact that the last hour and a half that I'm driving, okay, I am driving through Oklahoma to get to Grapevine. Again, it's about an hour and a half left. And the wind starts picking up hard. And I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out, man, because the lightning. So I used to live in Florida. Okay. That's where I started my dispatch career, was in Florida. And I was told that Florida is the lightning capital of the world. However, during my time driving through Oklahoma in this one particular area, and it's dark. It is nighttime. When I got to my Airbnb, it was almost 1 a.m. This is how late it was. So I'm driving through and that lightning was hitting. Like, it was hitting hard. And like enough that it would light up the entire sky. And when it was lighting up the sky, I can see these clouds just rolling. And I thought, hell no, this is going to turn into a tornado. Like, that's how crazy it was, because the wind was blowing hard enough. Now I drive an Atlas, and so it's an SUV. It's a good size SUV, but that wind was enough to where it was like pushing me off to the side on the highway. So I'm on the left trying to pass this semi, and its trailer ended up going like into my lane, and I had to slam the brake to come back. And as soon as it straightened out, I hauled ass past. That's how hard the wind was blowing, man. But also blowing to the point where there's like branches, like debris just flying out. And again, lightning hitting, and I'm looking up and I'm looking over, I'm looking for this freaking tornado, because I mean, it was severe thunderstorm only, but I'm looking at the radar and it's looking like hell. Okay. There was no tornado watch. There was nothing like that, but it was freaking me out. James says, see any old ladies riding their bicycles with a dog in their bike? Yeah. I was looking for it, dude. I was looking for it. Let's see. Robert, hello, dude. What's going on? And then Gary says, although I did accidentally shoplift a patch from Ricardo's booth for 911 Bowler's hat, but I came clean when I realized it. He did. He handed me some loot, and I was like, what is this money for? And then he told me, and I was like, oh, like, man, I wouldn't have cared. He says they take shit seriously down there. I didn't want to get taken down by one of the canines there at the show. Oh, that's funny. So picture this, okay? If you've ever seen the movie Twister, think about the scene when they're at the drive-in and the lightning, is hitting, and you can see, the tornado coming. of course, I didn't see a tornado, but that's what I was picturing in my head because the lightning was hitting the same way. All I could hear was the one girl in my head going, "We got cows. We got cows." Yes, Vanessa over here flying cows. You and I, right there, right there. That's exactly what I was thinking, man. It was just thinking it over and over, and I'm hauling ass and within means of the speed limit. Hauling ass within means of the speed limit. And I just wanted to get away. And it got pretty bad there for a while. But then I got far enough that I was past it. But man, it was something else. It was crazy. So I want to share this picture on the screen. And this was something that Otsego Fire Department put out. Otsego was in the county that I worked in Allegan County, okay? And this is hilarious. So here's the picture, and for those over here on TikTok, I'm going to try to change this so that you can see it. Oh, hold on. Okay, right here. So it's the difference between a watch and a warning. So it says, with the potential severe weather coming, we thought this was a great way to remember the difference between watch and warning. Watch, we have the ingredients to make tacos, and warning, we're having tacos right now. What the hell? I thought that was hilarious. That was good. And you know, I wanted to put this up here too, not just because of how funny it is, and well, not just because rather this is the fire department that I dispatched for when I worked for Allegan County, but also because earlier today I almost canceled this broadcast for today, and I'm so glad that I didn't. But the reason I was going to cancel it out was because we were under a tornado watch at the time. And it did not look good outside at all, man. Like, it was super dark. There was crazy hail, and the wind was just super bad. Like, it was crazy. Like, we were waiting for it. So it was in the afternoon. It was a few hours ago, and the tornado watch was supposed to go up until just about an hour ago. Excuse me. And I thought, man, if it continues, if it gets extended, I'm gonna have to postpone this episode indefinitely until the following week, because us being under a tornado watch and me being up here doing this, if that siren goes off and be like, oh, gotta go. I have to go. I have to take cover now. Or, as the graphic says, we're having tacos right now. Let's see. Jason Hill over here says, spent some time in Oklahoma City years ago. The storms there are legit crazy. First weekend I was there, though, I heard the storm sirens, and being from Montana, I instantly was on a news channel. Found out later they test the sirens on Saturday. If there are no storms in the forecast, I was kind of embarrassed. It's all good, man. I'm sure a lot of us have done that, or kind of sat there like, wait, what do we do? You know what's funny, though, was about a month or so ago, we had a tornado warning here in the area where I live, and my watch and my phone went off before anything else. So we're like hauling ass to take cover, and but it was something else. See, James says that works for hurricanes as well. Also says, I saw some videos from southern Indiana, and I was thinking of you, bro. I wasn't sure where you were at the time. Yeah, those tornadoes that hit actually they're south of me a little bit, so they were not close, but close enough that you think, what if? But yes, the watch versus the warning. A watch, when we're talking about tacos, a taco watch, we have the ingredients to make tacos. Everything is there. Possibilities are high. But if you have a taco warning, it's so stupid. But it's so funny too. I love it. We're having tacos, and in all caps right now. I'm gonna have to share that from Otsego Fire onto the podcast page because that shit is funny. But yes, I agree, James. I saw some of those videos as well off of the Weather Channel, and they look pretty gnarly, man. Those were no joke. No joke at all. All right, so we're about 40 minutes in. And it's time to play some audio. Oh, shit. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So I have 4 clips. All right, I have 4 clips that I'm going to play. This, again, is from the open mic session from just this past week when I was at National Nina. Did the Imagine Listening session there. Room was full. It was packed. Of course, the Imagine Listening portion is always very emotionally intense. A lot of tears. A lot of people hugging each other and saying, you're with your people. You're here. That was a powerful session, man. It was so good. All of them are really good. Excuse me. What I love the most, though, is seeing our fellow sisters and brothers of the Thin Gold Line, just reaching out to others when they're telling these stories and saying, we love you. We're here for you. We're supporting you. It's okay. And a couple people were crying as they were telling stories, and I would tell them, it's okay. Take your time. We're here for you. It's hard to explain what it's like to be in a room, that kind of energy, that kind of vibe, with people who know exactly what it is that you're going through. And if you've ever been to an Imagine Listening session, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is something that I want to bring to dispatch centers as well, to be able to do that there with their own folks, or even if it's like regional and there's, other people. There's a lot of different things that I'm working on. So I'm super excited for that. But then, of course, the open mic portion, we start out emotionally intense with Imagine Listening, and then we finish it off with open mic where we're sharing some funny 911 stories. So these 4 clips alone. Wow. for open mic. The first clip, the very first story, I will say was I can't even say. It was crazy. I'll just say it was crazy, and I'm gonna play it here. But I'm gonna start with the second story first. But I want to look over here in the comments really quick. And for those over here on TikTok, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my headphones down here by this microphone so that you can hear it. There's no video or nothing like that. It's just audio. So I want to switch my audio over here, take off my mix minus and everything so that the audio goes through for those on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter so that you can hear some of these funny calls. So looking back over here in the audience really quick, says, I was driving back from NENA 2022 in Louisville in Ohio. There's a serious hail warning, and they recommended people get off the interstate because of potential damage. I missed it initially because I was listening to a podcast. Road was wide open. I got stopped by a cop for speeding. I'll just say really high. Hey, the road was empty. He says, I saw the warning at the right time, told him I was trying to get off the highway. Shit, it worked. Well done, dude. That's great. Oh, my God. Let's see. Justin over here says, gotta say that was my first session and it was amazing. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for that. I always hope that folks that go to the Imagine Listening session, that they do enjoy it. Again, I tell people, if you need to step out for a moment, please do whatever you feel comfortable, but please come back for the last portion of it, because that's when we share the lighter side. And just even if people didn't share a story, it's okay, because we're there in support of each other. That's what it's all about. And it was just really, really good. It was really good. Okay, so I'm gonna take my headphones off for a moment, and we're gonna play this first audio clip. All right, here we go.
I think sometimes it's really hard to say things across the radio, and you don't quite know how to say it because we had a parking complaint that we kept getting, and over we told them we don't have somebody to send. She finally calls back and says, does it matter that they're naked? And it wouldn't bother me much except they keep bumping the horn.
Nice. Very nice. Okay, so there it is. There's the first one. There's How many of you have gotten a call like that? I can't think of. I might have had one or two that were similar to that, where people might have been, they passed by a car that was on the side of the road, or that was in a parking lot or something, and they passed by and they're just getting down. What's funny is that, like the caller said, like, I really wouldn't have a problem with it, but they keep hitting the horn. So basically it's like, do your thing. Do it like they do in the Discovery Channel. Just don't hit the horn. Okay? Don't hit the horn. That was the issue. It wasn't the fact that they were just bumping and grinding in the vehicle. It was the fact that they were also hitting the horn, and that shit was annoying. Oh, that's great. What James says, when the cars are rocking, keep on walking. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. All right. So that was actually the second clip, but the first one that I'm playing, because the first clip is what we are going to end on. Yeah. All right, here we go. Here comes the next one.
Okay, so I work for a little bitty small community, so we set the sirens off for tornadoes and things. Well, we forgot to let our new hire know that when you set them off, it's open mic. And it keyed up, and she said, oh shit, fuck, what do I do? And everybody in the county heard it. The sheriff actually called her and said, we can hear you. And she said, oh shit, sorry. And it did it all over again.
See, this is what I love about doing open mic with a live audience, because like that, you can hear everybody in the background just dying laughing, just cracking up. And I don't think I ever did that, but it's funny to hear this, someone who is setting off the sirens, they didn't know, or maybe they forgot, but it sounds like they didn't know that it ends up going into an open mic, and they were all swearing and shit. But then the sheriff calls, and the person's like, oh shit, I'm sorry. It's like, I'm sorry. Let's see, over here in the comments, Jason says, coworker got to transmit over the radio last night that someone tested a potential down power line by touching it. Some stuff you can't make up. Oh, dude. Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Like, okay, so hold on. Jason, did anybody over the radio ask for that to be repeated? Because I feel like I probably would have done that. I would have like heard that and thought, did they say what I think? Did they say what I think they said? I have to ask them. Central, can you 10-9? Can you repeat? Like, affirmative. And then do it again. Yeah. Let me read that again. The coworker got to transmit over the radio last night that someone tested a potential down power line by touching it. Some stuff you can't make up. Treat all wires down as a live wire. Yes, that's what we tell people all the time, man. Stay away. That's crazy. Oh, that is something else. All right, here we go. Here comes the next clip. Oh, wait, James says for the non-public safety audience members. Yes, Yes, for sure. Anybody watching right now, if you did not know that you should not be touching a down line, a line that's down, don't do it. Whether you think it's cable or not, man. You know, I actually remember someone telling me about a down line, and they're like, I think it's a cable one. I'm just going to go move it. And like, no, you're not. You're going to stay away from it completely until someone gets there who can safely check it. No. Thank you for calling about the wire being down. Thank you. Now move on. Beat feet. See, Gary says, I hope they didn't lick it like a 9-volt battery. Can you imagine? Like, no. That Jesus. Yeah, exactly. We got it from here for sure. We will continue. All right. Here's the third clip, and then we've got about 10 minutes left, and then I've got one last one to play. And we're gonna close out with this one because when I heard it, when the person is telling this story, and Gary, you were there, so you know what I'm talking about, but don't no hints. Okay, no hints. This story was one that I had never heard before, and it was okay, we'll get to it. We've got this one first though, so let me play it.
So we have a frequent flyer, and we'll call her D. But D called up and said she was real mad because she said that her roommate's breath stank, and her roommate didn't like that, and she needed an officer to talk to. And I was like, okay. So sent her one, and then as we were just sitting there talking, making sure to de-escalate the situation, she said she had a fart. And I said, excuse me, ma'am, did you say you have to fart? Just make sure that I didn't miss anything. And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, go for it. And so then she goes, oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna put you on speaker. I had to take a shit. And I was like,
dude.
Okay. So then the officers were sitting outside. I said, do you need to go outside? The officers need to speak with you. And she's like, okay, hold on, I'm wiping. And I'm like, it's like, thank you for the play-by-play. And I said, after that, I said, okay, just wash your hands. And
oh man, see, that's amazing. That's one of those things, right? You're taking these. Okay, really quick before I continue, how many of you have had that happen? Now I'm gonna explain one part here in the audio too, but JC, what's up, dude? He's like, bro. Seriously though, how many of you watching, whether here on TikTok or over here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, how many of you have had that happen? I'm sure almost every single one of you have had something similar happen. So let me play this because it goes along with this. These calls, and you tell the person, like, put the phone down, right? You tell them sometimes in these calls, put the phone down so that I can at least hear what's going on for the responders that are going that way, you know, all of that stuff. And then something like that happens. You know, I had a gentleman who did something similar, and he said, just hold on a minute. And I said, okay, just put the phone down for a moment. And so I know what else is going on. He's like, all right, cool. And then he just starts peeing. And I was like, oh God. It's like, why? Like, for real? But I told him, put the phone down so that I can hear what else is going on. So, damn it. Yeah. That's what happens. And it's true. It is very true, right? We take these calls and we tell people, because, you know, you've got help going out there, right? So we tell them, if this person comes back into the room or, you know, something to that effect, just put the phone down. Just put the phone down, keep the line open so that we can hear. Now, these are some of the things we have to think about while we're doing this job, because we don't want the person to hang up, right? We want to be able to hear what's going on so that the field responders that are heading out there, they know what it is that is going on, and we can keep them updated and keeping everybody as safe as possible, right? As much as we can do over the phone. So then you get to a moment like this where they're like, I gotta, and they're like, don't know how to say it, right? Like some people will say, I gotta pee or I gotta go to the bathroom. And you're like, okay. Like the one girl said when the caller was like, I got to fart. And she was like, okay, go ahead. And then they do it. But yeah, they're doing exactly what we've told them. And that's all we can ask for, right? Is for them to answer our questions, and if we give direction or whatever, to do it. So you tell them to put the phone down, keep the line open so they can hear what else is going on, and then they start peeing or pooping or whatever they need to do. And you're like, okay, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing. Oh, man. Jason says, not yet, but the way June has gone so far, it probably will happen. There you go. Okay. The last audio clip. This is a... Wow. I don't even know if I should play it. I mean, it's going to be in the podcast episode, and we've talked about some pretty outrageous stuff, not just today, but I mean, in the past. I've been doing this. I've been doing Open Mic Live for like 3 years now, and we've had a lot of doozies. So here we go.
So we live in a city that has a public transit train that drives through Dallas, and it dead ends into our city. We get a lot of colorful stories from our guests that come off of that train and just wander around our city. But one day we got a call from the train, multiple callers, about a woman that was bleeding all over the train. She was just bleeding out. It appeared vaginal, just hemorrhaging everywhere. So we've got PD going, EMS going. We don't know what happened. Nobody can really tell us what happened. It turns out when we got there that she was actually just masturbating with a bottle of Frank's Red Hot Sauce. And I guess it's true what they say. They really do put that shit on everything.
All right, so there's one in back of you that rose their hand. So there it goes. First story. Boom, we're going downhill. Oh my God, yeah. Okay, go ahead. What? Oh my God. No one has commented anywhere. There is no comments. No one has commented yet. I'm assuming you're typing. Because, whoa. So that was the first one. That was the first story that was told. Oh, hold on. Vanessa over here says, I can't come up with a comment for that. JC says, speechless. Yeah. What? James says, I guess the cap came off. Basically, yeah. What? Gary says, that was the first funny story Tammy heard. Oh, that's Gary's wife. Oh, JC said it was twisted off. Oh God. It's so bad. That's one of those moments, right? Where you're like, is this real life? Is this really happening? Yeah. Yeah. So there were a lot of different stories that were shared, of course, for Open Mic this past week, but that is going to be part of an epic episode 500. from the podcast, and it's Within the Trenches Presents Open Mic. And there were, again, tons of stories that were shared, and it's going to be split between this past March. I recorded episode 500 at the Mayan Ranch, their leadership retreat that Joe Serio of the 360 Degree Dispatcher puts on. If you've never been to it, sign up as soon as you can, because they sell out fast, and you definitely want to be there. And I do the closing. I do Imagine Listening. So the one that I was at this past March, I recorded the open mic portion of it. And that was the first part of an epic episode 500. And these clips that you just heard were from just this most recent Imagine Listening session that I did. And of course, this was the open mic portion. And this audio will be part 2 of that epic episode 500. So make sure to look out for that. That was so much fun. All of you that was there, or who were there rather, thank you for what you do. Thank you for being there in support of each other. From the people who shared stories to the people who were there in support, excuse me, and those who wrote down stories, I'm going to make sure that those go into that episode. So do not worry about that. I will end up reading those, and it'll be part of the Imagine Listening portion. And those who were there at the conference, who made the book signing just something special, thank you. And Gary says, I had no idea that was Joe Serio thing. Got to look into that for sure. Yeah, dude, it's his thing, and it is amazing. You would definitely dig it. And of course, my publisher and her right hand, Tracy and Lori, thank you for everything that you're doing, everything that you've done, and everything that you will continue to do. I appreciate you both more than you know. And just everyone in digital, everyone who made, and of course Nina, and all the people who showed up there, thank you for just making it one of the best conferences yet. It was an excellent time, and there's more to come. There's a lot more. A lot of big things building up, and I can't wait to talk to you about it. But if you're a subscriber of the podcast, you'll find out first, maybe even as early as next week. So it is going to be awesome. This has been great to be here with you tonight. And what is your number? What is your number now? A lot of us had high numbers going in, and I kind of feel like if your number didn't go up, that's okay. We still had fun. We shared some funny stories. And there was another story I was going to share, but I'm going to save it for next week. And it has to do with an octopus. I will share that one next week. Oh, man. Either way, thank you for everything. Gary says, thank you, dude, for what you have done for the industry. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it. James says, there goes Ricardo teasing us again. LOL. I am at a 15. Awesome. Yeah, my number is way above a 10, and it is, again, just been great to be here with you. Vanessa over here says, at a 9. The Frank's Red Hots put me over the bar. Thank you for being so awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Jason over here says, tease. I know, man. That's how I do it. So you just got to tune in next week to find out. It's going to be awesome. But again, thank you all very much for being here. I appreciate it more than you know. This live broadcast has been sponsored by InDigital, a leader next gen core services. And shout out to subscribers of the podcast as always. Thank you very much. If you have any comments, questions, or you want to be a guest on the flagship show Within the Trenches, you can email us, and that is going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that is wttpodcast@gmail.com. To become a subscriber of the podcast or to follow me on social media, simply go to links.co/WTT podcast. That's links with 2 i's.co/WTT podcast. You'll find my email there. You'll find all of my social media. You can listen to the latest episode. Excuse me. You can pre-order the Imagine Listening book. and so much more. There's a lot. You can even go to the store and find different podcast merch. So that'll be good too. So you can check that out. Again, that is links.co/WTT podcast. And this can be seen on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And then for the flagship show, you can listen 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone. I love you all. And this continues to be just such a great experience. And I have all of you to thank for that. So thank you so very much. And also for trusting me and sharing your stories. It's an honor. For the past 10 years, it has been amazing. And we are going to continue to roll with it. So have a good one. And I'll see you in the next one.